As I was thinking about today, you think a lot about, a lot of people talk about the soil health and the erosion benefits you get with rye. Well, for me, a big part of the deal is what's practical about it. In other words, is there a way we can get some more direct payback from a rye crop? And when you have cattle, that kind of opens up a few doors to be able to do that.
On May 30th, Practical Farmers of Iowa headed to Matt Schuiteman's farm for a field day hosted by him and his family to learn about cattle and cover crops, specifically cereal rye.
We are here today to talk about the short-term economic benefits of cover crops when you utilize them as forage. And Matt's been doing that in several different ways, so he'll go into all of those details.
Matt has been figuring out how to make rye work as a cover crop on his farm for over 10 years now.
Between the seed rye that we graze and the forage rye that we graze, we'll graze roughly between those two 4.5 months. In the net, and these are estimates in terms of cows per acre, and basically if you got a cow out grazing rye, you're not feeding that cow in the dry lot. So what I come up to, and that's what Meghan said earlier, was that $281 per acre that we get by grazing our cows through this system. And that didn't count, we graze corn stalks too, so if you're going to include the corn stalks, then you can tack some more onto that. But I'm talking about just the rye, about $281 an acre.
After lunch, the crowd headed to the field where Matt's cattle were grazing to hear how he plants rye in the fall, then strip tills and plants corn into that rye in the spring.
So this gives you a little bit of a look at what stuff looks like in the spring with the strip-tilled rye down the middle of the rows and the stalks. The cows are finally starting to get ahead of this, which is just in time. I'll probably pull them off here this weekend. And we'll put a little manure out here and plant corn.
We also heard from ISU Extension beef specialist Beth Doran to talk about the various nutritional aspects of rye as a forage source.
And you can see that that's going to increase with maturity, that you're going to get a greater yield on it. The other side of that is the crude protein content and the energy tend to go down as it gets more mature. So that's why we'll see most of our guys hit it pretty hard when it's in that vegetative to that boot head stage.
After Matt and Beth talked about grazing rye, we caravanned down the road to a field he'd recently cut to bale rye as hay. There, Matt and the field day attendees talked about not only the production benefits, but some of the benefits for soil and water.
Soil health, I think, is pretty subjective. Basically, you're looking for soil structure and you're looking for earthworms.
Several of the wells for Sioux Center's water supply are underneath Matt's fields, and he has been working with the city to come up with the best options to decrease nitrate levels in the water.
So every month I get a nitrate report on every well plus both streams. Yeah. And over the years there has been some rhyme or reason. Some of it's been kind of random, but we can kind of see some correlation to what we do here to what shows up in the wells.
There was a big turnout. About 65 people showed up, and one of the farmers attending the field day was Chuck White.
It's always great to be with other farmers and share ideas and listen to how everybody does their operation, because there's a lot of different ways of doing things and getting at the same end goal.
Chuck farms in Clay County with his brother and decided to become a member of Practical Farmers at the field day.
To get your strips put in using guidance, the ryegrass and grazing is a tremendous opportunity for farmers that have cattle to graze. But if you don't, you can harvest it for forage. And then tuna, it's got a tremendous value that way.
For more information on upcoming field days focusing on everything from cows to cover crops to vegetables, check out practicalfarmers.org.